There are places you pass every day. Houses you've never noticed. Roads you've driven 100 times. But what if something has been watching you the whole time? They say every town has its secrets. Some are buried in the ground, others are trapped in the walls. Across the world, ordinary people report extraordinary experiences. Unexplained footsteps in empty hallways, missing time no one can account for, shadow figures lingering in the corner of the room, voices captured where no one was standing. Are these stories tricks of the mind, or glimpses into something we were never meant to understand? From whispered legends to documented encounters, we examine the evidence, the testimonies, and the questions that refuse to stay buried. This is where the line between reality and the unknown begins to blur, where the unexplained comes to speak. So turn down the lights, lock the doors, and whatever you do, don't listen alone.
Welcome to the darkness.
Welcome to the DG Paranormal Research Team podcast, where we delve into the stories sent in by you, the listener. We are your hosts, Mariette, Graham, and Daisy.
Hello and welcome everybody. We've got some good ones for you today, and today we're focusing on the darker spirits.
Ooh, I'm excited.
And don't forget to listen right to the end, because we have great fun making these and it will become evident in the outtakes at the end, so keep listening. So Mariette, over to you, because I think you're going to tell us all about the types of entities, dark entities, that we can experience. So
absolutely. So first off, we've got shadow people. Now these are human-shaped, distinct forms like a human being. Sometimes they're taller than a normal human being and appear just a larger person. These tend to be tied to a person, to one person. That one person experiences this shadow person. Nobody else experiences it. They're not evil, they're just there feeding off your energy.
Right.
That's our first dark entity. We can then have a black mass, which is generally tied to a location. They're vaguely human, they're demonic. They're negative energy, and they're growing in power. So they will be feeding off any negative energy, any depression, any sort of mental problem that you've got, they will use to grow in energy.
Feeders type of thing.
Then we've got, which is interesting, the shadow people with the red, reportedly, eyes. So
Wow, that's weird, because I've seen them at Witchling, so have you, Graham, haven't you?
Yep, I've seen
And
them
you've seen them as well?
too.
Wow, yeah.
So these are tied to a location, oddly enough.
That makes
Funny you should say that.
And it is recommended that you avoid these at all costs. This is the most dangerous shadow entity that there is. You don't want to be getting involved with any of the red-eyed ones.
That's quite creepy then, isn't it? 'Cause
It
we've all
is.
witnessed them.
And I wonder if it can follow you or something, and that would not be good to have that in your home.
They are the most dangerous. So they would be from a very ancient ritual, but it would have been even before witchcraft. These are the spirits that have really evolved.
Creepy.
So we've also got a lot of people for the dark entities are reporting like witchy, wizardy type things actually on their own bodies, pressing down. That leads us to ask, is this sleep paralysis, or is it an actual spirit? So it is reported that when you start waking up from this experience, because you tend to have it when you're asleep or going to sleep, when you start coming round fully, it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I have had first-hand experience of sleep paralysis. I've had it twice, and the first time was when I lived here at your house. I was asleep on your sofa, and I had a man, I thought somebody had broken into the house, and I could not move, and it was a man stood over me, and all I could see was his arms, and I remember trying to swipe out at him because I thought it was somebody had broken in. And then it felt like forever, and you couldn't talk, you couldn't move, you couldn't scream, you couldn't do anything, and it just felt like forever until I finally could move again, and he'd gone.
And I just asked though, Were you in a sleep state at that time, or did you wake up and he was gone, following on from what Marriott said?
I don't know. I can't, unfortunately, it was probably about 10 years ago now,
Yeah.
but I still remember his arms, and I remember thinking somebody's broken into the house.
Very scary experience, I would think.
It was terrifying.
It's difficult to know whether that is, as you say, a psychological experience or a supernatural experience. I guess we'll never know.
No.
We won't ever know. But these are the questions that we need to ask. Are these dark entities that I've previously explained, are they curious observers just watching and waiting? Are they a malevolent force wanting to cause harm, wanting to give you fear? They're unpredictable. Are they transient, just passing through, similar to the stone tape theory, just like a recording?
Yeah.
Or are they an omen?
Yeah, I wonder.
I think a mix.
This is what we need to be asked. These are the questions we need to be asking regarding these.
It's circumstantial to each case, isn't it?
Definitely. But it really interests me, the whole dark entity side of it.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
It really does interest me, the whole fallen angel kind of concept of demons, etc. So yeah, it's very, very interesting subject. So before we begin with our first story, what about attachments and the dark entities?
Okay, so an entity will be looking for an opportunity to attach to something, i.e. a person, a place.
Is this just dark entities?
Object. Yes.
Yeah.
Not just dark entities. Most spiritual activity needs something to feed off of.
Like an anchor as such.
Yes.
However, the dark entities are slightly different in that if they're attaching to an object, it may have been an object that's been used for trauma or violence or death or something along those lines. It can also be looking for energetic footholds,
Right.
Yeah.
which would be, i.e. a Ouija board.
Okay.
That would be a really good foothold for a negative entity to enter. That is the black magic of it, basically.
Yeah.
It opens doors to attachments and it invites them in.
Yeah.
Now, those entities will pick up on anything that, for instance, a building, an old hospital, whatever, where there's been suffering, where there's been pain, that is an ideal breeding ground for a black entity.
Oh, definitely, where there's been a lot of trauma.
Yeah. So that's where we're at with that.
Yeah, I mean, attachments and that, and the dark entities and that. I mean, it's kind of our world, isn't it? It fits in with what we do. And I'm pretty sure that at some point one of us has already had an attachment, and we will continue to get attachments. So for me, that's really interesting.
Do you want to know a few signs of attachment?
Please.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so sudden mood swings, like intense mood swings. Unexplained tiredness and physical weakness. Paranoia, obviously.
Yeah.
Intrusive thoughts, urges that don't feel like your own. You want to hurt someone, you feel guilty, you feel shame, and you've got destructive thoughts. Physical discomfort or pain comes and goes, unpredictable. And then the final one, out of control, disassociation.
That's like the last stage before possession,
Yes.
to be fair.
And that actually fits in with a story that we're going to tell today, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
That we have both experienced.
Oh, I'd like to hear that.
So yeah, it's very, very interesting. So with that, shall we delve into story one? So Graham, I think you've got a nice short one to get started off today.
Yeah, I have. It's from Susan. Thank you, Susan, for sending this in. Now, just put a bit of background to it. Susan worked in a London hospital and worked on the night shift, and she says this. I was doing my rounds when I saw a woman sitting on a bed in the empty oncology unit.
Ooh.
She says, as I approached to see if all was well, the figure faded to black and then disappeared.
Ooh,
How scary would that be?
really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you reckon, Marriott?
Right, first question is this considered a dark entity?
I'm not sure that it would be, because I would say it's probably a patient that's passed away.
Yeah.
And it could possibly be, if it is a dark entity, that connected with the place rather than the person.
Yeah, I think if it was a patient that passed away, definitely. And I think hospitals are probably full of them. And
Absolutely.
maybe the staff there don't even realise. They think that they're a live person there in front of them, and it might not be. You just never know. Like, even if you walk down the street, you don't know
Who you're walking
passing.
past.
No.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
But I would be interested to know how many people are on shift with her.
Yeah.
Like, it's an empty room. Is she certain that it's empty? Did it fade in front of her eyes?
Well, it sounds as though it faded.
Yeah, she said figure faded to black and then dispersed into
I
nothing.
wonder if Susan saw any facial features.
Actually, I think it'd be interesting to know if, we're not going to know, but if other staff have experienced the same. But yes, they've perhaps never spoken to each other about it.
No, exactly. And I'd like to know what shift it was. Was it middle of the night kind of, you know, there isn't going to be anyone floating about, so to speak. But yeah.
Sounds to me a bit like a stone tape.
Could be.
Something that just keeps coming back, replays itself over and over.
Yeah.
I like it though.
I like it, and I don't think it's dark.
No, I don't think
It's probably not going to be, is it?
No, but that is brilliant. Like, I'd love to experience something like that.
it's a great experience.
Yeah.
Susan, if you're listening to us reading this out of yours, thank you for sending it in again, by the way. If you've got any more details on that, that would be really good to know.
Definitely. Please let us know, because, yeah, I love that. Absolutely love it. That was a good one. Thank you so much, Susan, for sending that one in. I think I'm going to crack on with story 2, if you guys are happy with that.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely. Okay. So this has been sent in by Leslie. I was about 6 and my bed started to shake really bad. It happened regularly. I usually hid very still and very quiet under my heavy wool blanket. On this occasion, it was too much, and I screamed as I laid there. My sister came along and opened my door and stood there with her mouth agape and big eyes. My mum arrived and switched on the light. The bed stopped shaking. From then on, weird things would happen around the house. Lights came on, music would blast out with nobody near the radio. It felt like we were being watched as we went about our day. Well, that sounds very bizarre.
I'd kind of like to know more about that
Yeah,
one.
absolutely.
Definitely.
That's quite interesting. That is a bit poltergeisty, isn't it?
Well, especially the physical shaking of the bed.
Yeah,
That is weird, isn't it?
that is weird.
I mean, that's a real attention-seeking one, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, and I think we can call that a dark entity.
Well, it sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason why I say it'd be interesting to know more about that one is it could go one of two ways, positive or negative,
Yes.
can't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wonder which way it went.
Yeah, definitely. Leslie, if you're listening, do reach out and let us know.
Right, what's really interesting about it is the main focus to start with was on Leslie on the bed, but it's progressed to the rest of the family with
Yeah.
objects turning on, turning off, things happening around the house.
Yeah.
So that it can't be a dark entity attracted to one person. It's got to be related to the premises.
I agree.
Yeah.
And as I said before, you know, we need to know more about
We
this
need more
place
information. Yeah,
because it could have turned into a very negative energy, or
yeah,
indeed
Yeah.
it could have been something that just dissipated and stopped acting up.
Definitely. And like they mention the feeling of being watched.
yeah.
I mean, I know what that feels like because I feel like that all the time at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very, very strange. And the fact that it was shaking her bed, I think, to scare her, being a child of 6 years old.
Who knows? We don't know until we have more information. Leslie, if you've got any more information, do send it in. We'd like to study this a bit further.
Definitely. Thank you so much for sending it in anyway. I think we're going to move on to story 3. So, Maria, are you going to be reading that one out for us?
I am.
Perfect. Right.
Right, this one's been sent in by Helen. I have to say this is slightly unnerving.
Ooh.
So let's get going. I was sat on one of 2 sofas in the living room having a conversation with 2 friends via my laptop. I was typing away when I heard my then partner come in the front door. He called out hello from the hallway. He eventually entered the room and sat on the other sofa. I glanced up and, to my horror, witnessed a dark figure outlining him. And as he sat down, it sat in him. It was like a black shadow sitting on him.
Oh my God.
I relayed this via my laptop to my friends as I couldn't believe what I'd seen. As I was typing, his personality instantly changed. He spatted words with venom, insulting me and generally behaving very oddly. This lasted until he stood up, when the shadow left his body and faded away.
Oh my God. I see what you mean by unnerving.
Very unnerving.
That is very scary.
That is bordering on possession.
I think it's not bordering on, I think it is.
You think it is?
Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing though about it is the going in of the body and then coming out again. That's almost like your mind, isn't it? I can use you as a vessel whenever I want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, now that is definitely a dark entity.
That's a dark
100%.
Yeah.
And the fact that the personality changed as well.
Absolutely. Classic signs. Classic.
Possession signs.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is incredible, Helen.
I hope that your partner or ex-partner got help.
Definitely.
I mean, the funny thing is about it is, would the partner know? Would they recognise in themselves? Are they, what am I trying to say? When the spirit is in them, are they conscious enough to know as themselves whether their behaviour has changed? So that when the spirit comes out of them, do they then think, oh my God, I feel different?
Yeah.
You know,
do they recognise that?
Or has it taken over?
Yeah.
Might just be normal.
That is quite something.
It's quite scary.
It really is. So that would be an entity attached to Helen's partner, wouldn't it? Or ex-partner.
It would, definitely. More than attached. More than attached.
I wonder how long that's been going on for, if she's noticed anything before, any behaviour, etc., and if it's continued to happen.
It would be interesting to find that out.
Certainly would.
And it would be interesting to find out if he's still like it, or if he's had any sort of help.
Yeah, was it recognised as something that needed perhaps intervention by blessing, or?
Yeah.
That is a very worrying story.
It is. It's very, very creepy, isn't it?
But very grateful to our listener for sending that in. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sending that in. But with that one, please do let us know some further information, because I'm just so intrigued by this. Okay, so story 4. Graham, have you got one for us?
Yeah, I've got a good one for you all. I think you're going to like this. And thank you to Andy for sending this in for us. He says, when I was 13, I lived in an old farmhouse. One night I took myself off to bed. My room was down a dark corridor towards the back of the house. I fell asleep quite quickly, but I was suddenly awoken by the feeling of a cold hand pressing on my forehead. I felt it pull my hair. Thinking it was my mum, I opened my eyes, but to my horror, in front of my face was a dark figure with red eyes. He says I could feel a cold breeze across my face. I tried to scream, but the noise wouldn't come out. The entity slowly began to fade. I jumped up and ran to my parents' room, terrified. I never saw it again, and to this day I can't explain what it was. I'd never and still haven't seen anything like it since.
Oh, that's really
I
weird.
love that one.
Yeah, that is good. So we've kind of got sleep paralysis here with the figure that we know isn't very good with red eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. The demonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that turn over our theory about sleep paralysis then? Or is it a mixture of both? Or is this a genuine paranormal experience?
We can't answer any of those questions because we haven't got enough information. We can only go on the information that we've got. I mean, this is obviously a real frightening experience for Andy, and for him to still be remembering that. And what age was he? 13?
Yeah.
I mean, that's an age that, you wouldn't necessarily be too afraid to open your eyes and see who it is, and
absolutely.
So we've got a credible witness. You know, we haven't got one that's going to be scared and we've got a credible witness. Is this associated with the building? An old farmhouse?
Oh yeah.
Old land? You know, what's the story there? We need more information.
Yeah, kind of but I'm interested in like spirits of the land, because if you think, a lot of hauntings are reported in very modern properties. So it is, you know, where there's never been a death. So the land actually could be.
Absolutely. And I mean, does it lay on ley lines? These are more questions we need answered.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
Yeah, that's a good point there as well with the ley lines.
I mean, if we've got something demonic, it would suggest something quite primitive.
And which takes us back to the land again, doesn't it? Rather than something associated with the building itself.
Definitely, yeah. No, that's a really good one, though.
Yeah, thank
really
you,
creepy.
Andy.
It's like I did say at the start, I've had sleep paralysis and an entity before, and I genuinely do believe it's an entity and it's not, you know, like a dream or a figure of your imagination or whatever. I genuinely believe what I saw was a spirit. So
There's a personal experience to you, and no matter how somebody reads it out or we interpret it, we were not that person experiencing that.
No, exactly. And the fact that he's not experienced anything like it ever since would suggest that this entity is looking for something negative to feed off and didn't find it.
Didn't find it,
yeah, that is
fair point.
Yeah, very good point. Creepy as though.
So where's it gone?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Has anybody else had that experience in that property?
Be interesting to know, wouldn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that one. Thank you so much, Andy, for sending that to us. Really enjoyed listening to that one. And I think for story 5 is kind of a joint story for us, isn't it, Mariette? So for our listeners that don't know, Mariette is my mum, and I obviously lived with her growing up. And we've got quite an interesting story to tell you regarding a dark entity in our home.
Oh yeah, I'm interested to hear this one.
So this one goes as follows. So we lived in a detached house in a semi-rural location, and we had Sky Television. Okay, and the Sky Television back in that day, it was called multi-room. So it would cast what's playing downstairs to the televisions upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could put something on downstairs and go up to bed and watch it, but you couldn't change it from upstairs. You had to watch what was on downstairs. And everybody's watching TV in their beds, in their bedroom. Nobody's downstairs. And all of a sudden, across the Sky Television screen, the remote control that was sat downstairs, not leaning against anything, nothing on it, it was just sat on the side as you would leave your remote at night, starts keying in the number 666, and this continues. What? It was so creepy, and obviously 666.
Yeah, number of the beast.
Exactly. That house was absolutely scary, wasn't it?
We had a lot of experiences with dark entities in that house.
We really did, but this incident was just. I mean, at the time, I was obviously a child, so I was quite scared. You were obviously an adult at the time. But it was, for me, it was very, very scary, especially the connotation of 666.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is negative to me. And the feeling in that house was so oppressive all the time, wasn't it?
It was.
Can I just ask, what sort of age was the house?
The house was built in 2001, so it was a new property.
Sure.
It was a new property. The electrics were all new, so the Sky system was a new system.
Yeah.
It was when it came out, and it was a new system all put around the house. So we can't say it was mice or anything like that, because it was a new property with new wiring and all the rest of it.
But even if, someone says, that's a mouse, whatever, the mouse would have had to have come into the living room to step on the number 6 constantly.
3 times, yeah.
Yeah, you had to press the button to get the number to appear on the remote control itself.
That is really, really strange, isn't it?
It really is.
Well, the awful thing was I had to go downstairs and put the channel we were watching back on. Now, I didn't know what I was going to find down there, because on more than one occasion we've seen shadows, we've seen all sorts of awful things that I can't tell you about in that house, and I didn't know what I was going to find when I entered the sitting room.
Oh God, that is unnerving.
There was nothing there. I turned the telly back over, put it back on the channel, and went back upstairs.
And it was all right after that for that night.
For that night,
For that
but
night.
it used to do it frequently.
It did.
Really strange. So, are we talking here about the land again, or did you experience something in your previous house that maybe have come across with you? What do you reckon?
We had nothing of that sort in previous houses, but there was a lot going on in that house for some reason.
Okay.
And I don't know whether it's the house, the land, or whether it was attached to somebody in the house.
Yeah,
Which is quite scary, really, isn't it?
it is. Yeah.
I mean, that house gave me the fear of when I go up the stairs now, I literally bolt up there, and I have done ever since we've lived there, because this entity thing would, and I think my siblings would sort of validate this as well, because I think they had the same experience, but this sort of dark entity would chase us up the stairs, which is why now whenever I go upstairs I run up the stairs.
It scarred you in a
It
way,
has,
hasn't it?
yeah, so it is.
We did have something happen the day we moved out.
We did, yeah, to my sister. So my sister Amy had moved out of the property for years at this point, but she came over obviously to help us move and pack up. And she was hoovering by the front door, and a male shouted in her ear. And all we heard from the other room was Amy going, "Who's there?" And she was
Really?
absolutely terrified that this male had shouted in her ear. Who was it? Because it wasn't any of us, obviously.
Could she make out anything that was said, or was it?
No, I think over the hoover sound, unfortunately. But she knew, she felt the voice in her ear. You know, she felt the air as such.
Quite often, when people report hearing a spirit, quite often it's not legible to hear.
Yeah.
You know, so you know what you're hearing. You can't make out the conversation.
We
Yeah.
can rule out it's the neighbours because it was detached and you
Exactly.
didn't hear the neighbours, and we
okay.
were right out on a limb, so
Well,
to
that
speak.
makes it even better,
You know,
doesn't it?
surrounded by woods. I mean, it's possible somebody could have been in the wood, but I don't think you'd have heard it because the woodland was higher than the house.
The woodland was high up,
Yeah.
and it was a walking track as such. And she heard the voice by the front door, which was
Yeah.
in the middle of the house. You know,
Yeah.
there was a room and
Yeah.
a garden and a steep bank up to the woodland. For her to hear a voice
Yeah,
in, and feel it in her ear,
Yeah.
that's got to be
Mm.
close by. I mean, I think all of my siblings would say they've had experiences in that
Yeah.
house as well,
They certainly have.
because
Everybody has had
They have.
experiences in that house. I'd be interested to know if people still have
I
experiences.
would
in
love to know
house.
that. And do you know what? Weirdly, I would love to go back as well and see if that entity is still there.
Mm.
Because, yeah, I mean, we had a little girl spirit in that house as
We
well.
did.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
And I
we
think
did.
she came over from Grandma and Granddad's house
Yeah.
in Rye.
Yeah.
And her name was Katie, and she would bounce a red ball down the stairs.
Oh my word!
Yeah, it's
It was a very
Fascinating,
busy
though.
house.
it was a busy house.
It was a very busy house.
It was a terrifying house when you're growing up in it. So,
But
yeah.
now you'd absolutely love to.
Oh, it'd be like a
experience
playground
it.
for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's amazing how we change as we get older.
it really is. But yeah, that was our story from our house.
I love that. That is quite something.
It was
Thank
absolutely
you.
incredible. So yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed listening to that as well. And if you've got any questions around that story, or any possible explanations, we would love to hear it. And if the people that bought our old house are listening, drop me a message. I'd love to come by.
Yes. Okay, and that's it for today. We've had great fun, as always, making these, and thanks so much, everybody, for listening. Keep sending them in. So we do like a good ghost story. And now it's that time. It's the outtakes. Enjoy.
Enjoy them, guys, and thank you so much.
Everybody speak again.
Yeah, right, Mum. Try and speak that just in your normal voice, like we're recording the podcast.
Hello.
It's all in the mind.
So Graham, I think you've got a nice short one. So Graham, I think you've got a nice short one to start us off with. So So Graham, I think you've got a nice short one to start us off today. Sorry, just a second. So Graham, I think you've got a nice short one.
This is totally fucked us up because we can't stop laughing.
What's really interesting about it is I've forgotten what's interesting.